Hello and welcome to Beefield's Farm, a hub for nourishing herbs and healing food. My name is Lior today. I'm the herbalist behind the scene of Beefield's Farm, and I want to welcome you and tell you a little bit about myself and how I ended up being an herbalist and doing the work that I do. Um, yeah, so let's start with that. Three, four things that are fun thing to know about me. I have three kids that are now in their early 20s. Um, I live on a farm and I love getting up really early in the morning in the summer and spend the first couple of hours out there between the beds, weeding, when it's still cool and nice. In the winter, I love to drink tea and study herbalism. Um, I am addicted chocoholic, so I love chocolate. I eat it every day, high quality though, and I love reading books. So if you have book recommendation, I love inspirational books. I love books about herbalism and holistic herbs. So I would love it if you send your titles um, towards me. So let me share a little bit how I ended up doing what I'm doing and what I can offer for you. It all started many years ago when I was a kid, but then I was an adult. I lived in Israel as an adult. My three kids grew up in Israel in a small house. Well, in American standard, it's small, with a yard, a blue picket fence, and a golden retriever. So, for in many people's eyes, I had the picture perfect lifestyle. It was great in many ways, but still something was nagging underneath. And as I got to turn 40, just before I turned 40, and my husband and I did this brainstorming, we understood that we are looking to do something more in the world, something that is more meaningful, that is beyond the needs of us individually, beyond the everyday life. We were looking for a higher mission. So in summer of 1990, no, 2007, in summer of 2007, we packed our kids and we moved to America. We moved to an intentional community for people that are sharing their life with people with disabilities. We lived in a big house with 5 people with disabilities and 2 young volunteers who came to help us for 1 year. Yeah. So we were altogether 12 people in the house, and I was the leader or the homemaker of the house. During that time, I learned a lot of good skills. I learned how to cook a meal for 12 people, well, actually 3 meals a day for 12 people on a low budget and very fast. Um, how to juggle all the house chores with other works that I had in the village, how to manage my time, how to simplify processes, how to do everything much faster, and on a budget. And it was pretty amazing. I learned how to use and process food from the summer bounty for the winter, how to cook, how to clean. Everything was much more intense than in a small household, and the needs of the different people were also very varied. So I learned a lot, basically. And one thing that happened during this time was that I read a book. You see, books are key in my life. I read the book Miracles, Vegetables, and Minerals by Barbara Kingsolver. And this book is about the local food system and about the American food system as a whole. And this book really was a wake-up call for me. I immediately understood that the food system is broken and it needs work. And later on, I also understood that the medical system is extremely broken and it needs some work too. So couple of years later, we left Campil, and the fruits of that experience became Beefield's Farm that you can see behind me, a hub for healing food and nourishing herbs. And since then, I'm growing herbs and making products and selling them in mainly farmers market, some online. And the thing is that in the last 11 years, when I go to the farm market, I didn't also, I have like a community of um, clients that are supportive and that know me and that are very loyal to the brand, but they also come to me with all their health concerns. And I have to say, most of them are women. And the big health concerns that they're coming are fatigue, joint pain, weight around the midline that is really hard to lose, um, mood issues, anxiety and depression. Um, I said fatigue, digestive issues. Those are the big complaints that comes my way in the farmer market. And interestingly enough, during the time that I was doing it, I started to feel on my own body that I have similar symptoms. So as I got older, I developed a real serious heartburn that I couldn't understand. Never happened to me before. It happened after meals, every meals. I also felt fatigue, and especially in the middle of the day, I had this energy crash that required that I really have to take a nap for like 20 minutes, half an hour. And I really felt guilt and shame about it because while I was napping, Elad, my husband, was going back to work. And I was like, really, it made me feel very lazy. I felt like, why can't I work in the same pace that he can do it? But I all the time felt too tired to go on. I had shortness of breath. I had problem with sugar. I was pre-diabetic. I developed problem with weight that were, never before. It was all overall. I wasn't feeling very well. I think the mood issue were a couple of summers ago. I think it was 6 or 7 summers ago. I had a real serious deep into depression that wasn't fun at all. So and when it happened to me, I didn't connect the dots. I didn't understand that there is a relationship between the digestive issue, the mood issue, and the fatigue. I didn't see the all pictures. That all changed about 5 years ago. I started studying clinical herbalism. So I was studying herbalism all the way. So I was studying herbalism for the last 11 years. But 5 years ago, I took it one step up and I started studying clinical herbalism. And my teacher, Thomas Easley, suggested that every time we recommend a protocol to one of our clients, we actually try it on ourselves. So I kind of did what he said. And I took on myself a protocol that I was going to recommend somebody. And it changed my life because all my symptoms disappears. And also conditions that I lived from early childhood, like drippy nose, they disappeared. I used to need tissue next to me all the time. I used to have stuffy, congested nose all the time. And what I learned at the end is that probably all those symptoms were connected, and all those symptoms had to do with food sensitivities. So I had all this knowledge that I gained through growing the herbs, studying herbalism, and I had all this transformation that I experienced on my body. And I felt ready to start sharing that with other people, especially with my clients that were struggling with similar problems. So I'm now ready to offer it to you. If you're a woman that feel all those symptoms that I just mentioned, fatigue, digestive complaint, mood concerns, diabetics, obesity, weight issues that are not obesity. If you experience any of those and you are looking to make a change in your life. Also, if you're feeling guilty or shame or about those symptoms, you need to know that you're not by yourself. You need to know that other women feel the same. We just don't tend to talk about it over a cup of tea, or that's not the topic of conversation we tend to make when we meet each other. But we each one of us experience those hard feeling about our symptoms, about the stress we live in because of those symptoms by ourselves, and it feels very lonely. And I'm here to tell you that you're not alone, that we can do it together, and we can make a transformation. We can make a breakthrough and feel better, both about those symptoms, both physically and mentally, with ourselves, with our bodies. Basically, I consider the modern lifestyle to be very confusing, stressful, and even toxic. We are exposed to a lot of chemicals through our food, through the air, through the water. We are everything you connect with is toxic around you, and it's a cause for inflammation in your body. And the inflammation in your body is really another toxins that you have to deal with. Mentally, there is a lot of stress involved in a culture that is mainly oriented toward doing. The more you do, the better you feel about yourself in a way, the better value you have, the more money you have, the more you do it, the more career, the more you handle. And there is no place to take a breath and relax. We kind of take in a lot, but we don't breathe out a lot. And then, of course, there is the way we perceive our body as something that is almost as a machine that needs to be fixed. And the feeling that really, if your body is not perfect, then it says something about you, that you are not perfect, that you are not a good person in a way, which is really very stressful, very demeaning. It's another source of stress and discomfort. And with that comes a feeling of estrangement from nature as a being. We don't feel connected to nature. We don't feel connected to the food that we eat. We are not part of things. And at the end, it leaves us very lonely and detached. So if you feel all those feelings, if you experience the same experiences as I did, I feel you. I was in the same place. And I feel like I'm ready to be there with you in the place that you are in and help you come out of it, help you transform and make the same journey that I did. Because I really don't believe that anybody should navigate this toxic lifestyle by themselves. I do believe in the force of community to create like-minded people working together to transform and to grow. I believe deeply in the healing power of a community of like-minded people. So I hope you will join me. And if you're looking to join me, scroll down under this video, you will find the way to work with me. So how really can you work with me? It's very easy to work with me. What you need to do is actually go down to the program page. There is a link under this video, and just look at the programs and see what is the one that catch your eye. I do believe that different people need different things, and I have a couple of offerings so you can choose what really works for you. You have questions? Don't hesitate. You can contact me by the email Lior, Lior, .herbalist@bfieldsfarm.com and ask any question that you have, and I will be happy to help you match the program to your needs. You did that? Now it's time to commit. Before you commit to me, commit to yourself. It's very important that before you sign up to any program, you commit to applying my suggestion. I don't believe that you can make a change without doing the work. It requires that you get the guts and be committed to actually do what needs to be done in order to change. So commit to yourself and commit to me by purchasing the program. Once you purchase the program, you will get a bunch of emails that will take you step by step to what you need to do in order to use the program the best you can. So I don't just drop you, and there is always the email if you have any questions. Are you ready to work with me? You can hop right to the programs under this video. One more thing to consider. Most people don't consider what happens when they don't when they don't work on their health and well-being, because all of us has these limits of both time and money, and we feel very overwhelmed with our life. So we might say, let me think about it, and then we forget about it. Or we might say, maybe next month or maybe next year. But there is a price to pay. A decision that you make to take care of yourself has a price of money and of budget to it. A decision that you make not to take care of yourself as a price that is in your health, but eventually in your budget and in your time. Basically, chronic inflammation is the #1 cause of autoimmune disease, and autoimmune disease are on the rise in modern lifestyle. There are many reasons for it, but it's basically the modern way we are living in so many levels, both physically and mentally, causing us to be sicker and sicker and sicker. So if you want to prevent or you want to treat stuff that are really in the bad level before they develop to be worse and worse, you want to start treating them today and not wait until you don't have any other way to do it. So I encourage you to kind of, do the preventative now and not wait for it to be a problem that become expensive, time-consuming, debilitating, and basically painful. There is no reason to do that. My entire vision for this is not just that you take care of yourself. It is far wider. I hope that by encouraging you to join my programs, you will also join the movement of women that take care of themselves, their family, their community, and the environment. Because I believe that if each and every one of us learn to understand, to feel, to experience the connection between our own well-being and the well-being of the planet, the world will be a better place. It will be a cleaner place. It will be a more healthy place for all of us. For the garden behind me, the plants, the animals, the woods, and for our own bodies, because we are all one. There is no healthy me if there is no healthy planet. There is no healthy you if there is no healthy me, and vice versa. So I hope you feel called to join this program and come work with me. Link right under the movie. Hope to meet you in person. Bye.